Hi guys, welcome back to Byte and Beyond. First of all, thank you for subscribing, thank you for liking my video, and always sharing. So, in today's video, I'm going to talk about superstition in Africa. Now, what is that? Most people in Africa tend to have a belief in some sort of magic and actually almost believe in it 99% of the time. It's very rare, almost 9 out of 10 of the people believe that things do happen because, I mean, there is some superpower behind it, some super power behind literally on everything, even where things are a commonplace. And then, and for me, in my observation, I've come to a conclusion that this may be one of the reasons actually we may not be doing well as a continent, maybe as even a country. Because if you think about it, every time you fail, if you think that your failure is caused by someone else, then you don't put in effort to change it. So, for example, in my country where I come from, in Uganda, we have a high rate of accidents, road accidents, especially on motorcycles. We commonly call them border borders. Uh, of course, even car accidents. But if you observe how border drivers or riders drive on the road, clearly, mathematically, it's very obvious that accidents are to be expected. But if you interviewed one of the border guys, which I will do sometime and I share with you guys, they will tell you that, you know what, if it is your day, if you wake up and it's your day, you die. So even if you drive carefully, even if you put on a helmet, even if you know you ride well, if it's your day, you die. So and most people actually hold this belief. We call it superstition because if this belief can be nullified scientifically, there are certain countries, for example, which have strict road safety rules, like Rwanda, for example, where they have a very low rate of road accidents. So why are people not dying? Are their days not reaching? So if you think about it, is that people have, it's their day and that's the reason they're having an accident, then you see that the superstition is really a problem. And of course, sometimes it's due to bad roads and all these things. And some things are a problem of government. But if, of course, if people believe that it's caused by a certain god or a certain deity of god, and it's not the government's problem, then people are not even going to hold their governments accountable, because I mean they think it's not their problem. It's they think the time had come. God has called them. So if you think about it, that can delay success for a nation to a big extent. So that's why, for example, you see there is a high rise of Pentecostalism. And I'm not saying being a Pentecostal is bad, but if you observe most intentions, people why they are going there, uh, they are mostly thinking that their problems are due to high up, high powers above. Yet there are certain problems that are probably due to bad governance or even their own character, and very many reasons, but they are not willing to tackle the reasons, the actual reasons, but rather subject it to the higher power. I grew up in my early days in my local village in western Uganda, and we always had the belief that some people, if they cooked food, like maybe one of our cousins, if she cooked food, I grew up in an extended family. We were all cousins. So, uh, like if one of we knew, like maybe if that particular person cooked food, it would easily go bad. By going bad, getting spoiled. So, like in the next morning, and there were other people who would say maybe if that food, If that one cooks, the food is likely not to go bad. Of course, we never used to take out statistics to determine if this is true or false. But now, after understanding the reason why food really goes bad, because it becomes contaminated, and contamination is really something you can prevent. So you can imagine people in my village, there is no way they are going to think about, for example, inventing a fridge. Because think about it. They say that a person who actually created the microscope had a thought, and his thought was that he had a question in his head and asked himself, why does milk get go bad? It's a simple question. Why is it that when you leave milk there, all of a sudden it gets spoiled? So he kept on wanting to experiment reasons why it gets spoiled, and yeah, and he later realized that, what, it seems there are always other things happening in the milk that we don't see, and that's how we went to the micro world and we started seeing microorganisms, invented the microscope, and the world progressed. You must overcome the superstition in order to sort of challenges, and it's like Africa, we have taken a very long time for us to overcome the superstition so that we can take on the challenge, because majority of us, we really think that the problem is way high up above, and so it's not our problem, so we don't attempt to solve it. Hmm? If we look up and we say, up there, it's where, for example, it's where God lives. You're not going to invent a rocket to go to Mars or to the moon, because I mean, you'll be attempting to go see a God, and which is punishable in some religious texts. So if you think about it, is that, and I'm not saying there are other countries are not they are not superstitious. Even in the UK, in the US, people are, but the majority, you find that they have a significant number of people who are not. And also, the government operates on a circular level. They don't speculate, because here, I remember in 2007, if I'm not mistaken, or 2017. But I know there was a seven. It may not be seven, I may not recall properly, but probably 17 in Uganda. So somehow we had a long spell of drought, so there was too much sun, and there was nationwide prayers. People were praying for rain. If people only knew how useless praying for rain is, they would not. Now, I would not blame the people, but I would blame the government. How can a government organize an occasion for praying for rain? Clearly, you are just dodging, uh, dodging your responsibility to solve the problem. We all know in Saudi Arabia, in Dubai, people have been inventing even rain. People are seeding clouds, People seed clouds. People send out planes with salt, then they go and enable cloud seeding, and eventually rain comes. Or, we could have enabled storing of water, irrigation, and things like that in order to solve the problem of drought or even famine. But people chose to pray for it. That is very dangerous, and I find this to be very dangerous. And that's why I'm saying that being superstitious can be dangerous. It's not just bad, it is dangerous. And it is dangerous for a country to develop, because you cannot just pray for problems, or you cannot imagine that, you cannot wish them away. You can't wish problems away, but you can only tackle them head on. So think about it. You can imagine, maybe one day we will be invaded by Europeans. And you know what we will do? Already we are being invaded, but maybe let's imagine someday, the way you can see, like now there is a Russia and Ukraine war. When Russia invaded Ukraine, and people decided, to fight back, I would believe the biggest thing would do in Africa would be to storm churches and start to pray. That is our greatest weapon. Can you imagine? It means then we are not preparing for war. Other countries are building nukes, other countries are building bigger weapons, but we are wishing and praying that God is going to safeguard us. We also what happened in COVID. COVID came. We were waiting. What does I don't remember African Union really participating. It was UN, you what. So it's CDC. CDC is an American organization. It was the one providing information. American companies were the ones working on the vaccine. Forgive me for the background noise. So you can imagine that we choose to pray over things and COVID, and somehow here we didn't invent vaccine. Even some people didn't take the vaccine, which is absurd. Okay, but we didn't attempt to work on a vaccine. And some people are like, for us Africans, we are hard, so and things like that. But people died. So if you think about it, that our superstitious behavior, I think, can delay our progress. I don't know what do you guys think. Yeah, of course, I believe you have also your thoughts. What is your view? Why are we so superstitious? Is it the right thing to do? Why are we doing it so much? And so let me get your views in your comments. Uh, Otherwise, thank you for watching my videos. See you in the next one. Bye bye.